That's awesome.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. As always, Gus Sorola.
Geoff Ramsey, back from vacation.
Joel Heyman. I feel pressure that we shouldn't suck now after that song.
And I'm Jenny McCarthy.
Well, we just listened to the first fan submission for the podcast theme song. I don't think I'd played it for anyone before right now. Everyone just heard it for the first time.
It's awesome.
Oh, who made that?
Mark, I don't want to say his last name in case he's
What's his username on the site?
Why not? What is he in the witness protection program? Why are people so protective of that?
Mark Gaydosh.
Give his email address.
He lives in Kenosha, Wisconsin, on Spooner Street. I don't know.
I like the combination of the electronica and the death metal voice. Podcast.
Anyway, in case you didn't hear, we're having a contest for fans to submit our podcast theme song, and that's the first entry I've played. As we get them, I'm going to be playing a few
So you play like a different one
in the
every
coming
week?
weeks, yeah, and then we'll see what people's favorites are.
Well, what's the idea behind that? Is that we're going to choose our favorite and then use that on an ongoing basis? Or we just have a different one every week?
Does this mean we have to do more podcasts?
I'd like to
Just
choose
to justify the songs.
I'd like to choose a favorite, but if we keep getting good ones, maybe we'll just keep going indefinitely.
We could have
Oh,
one.
I hope so. I hope we don't ever use the same one.
We could just have one podcast that's all just songs from beginning to end.
That's a good idea.
It's a freebie for us.
We just phone it in.
And be sure when you submit one to include your social security number so we can read that over the podcast.
Oh, that's right. If you do want to submit, send it via email to podcast@roosterteeth.com.
I like that address.
With your mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
The high school you went to.
And your porn name.
Yeah.
Which is the street you grew up on, your first pet's name. Okay,
Phishing scam.
So we have a lot to talk about this week.
We have an
I think.
extraordinarily large amount of things to talk about.
And here we are fucking off. Just talking about...
Gus,
nothing.
man, crack the whip. Keep us in shape.
You gotta pause. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, smell the roses.
They stink.
The porn name to me thing was actually endlessly fascinating because it's like we had the conversation about that before, right? Where it was like, oh, everybody knows about that, and then it was like, oh, that's a phishing scheme. I didn't know that. That's amazing.
It's kind of tough because there's so many podcasts we do that we don't put out. I don't know sometimes what we've talked about.
I'm pretty sure that's been out.
No, I don't think we ever talked about that.
No, we talked about it in the other room.
Hey, let's talk about talking about it.
All right, let's talk about real stuff now. So E3 was this week. I don't know if anyone heard about that.
It was.
Yes.
Why didn't we go to E3? Someone tell me that.
Because it sucks.
Because we've been to 5 E3s in the past, and we were E3'd out. But we probably should have in retrospect because the Microsoft conference was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And Knuckles was there, and he got a chance to, I read his Twitter that he got to play with, is it Natal or
Natal?
Natal.
Okay. So he got to play with it, which would have been cool because, you see the demos of it or the conceptual demos of it, and you think, well, it looks great. I hope it works. And then I read people from Engadget and Gizmodo and then Knuckles saying it was great. They got up. They said they stood up there without any calibration, flailed their arms around and played a game.
Really?
And it made sense. Yeah. I think Engadget probably has the best write up. They have all 3 of their guys going up and each individually giving their impressions of it, and with pictures of them. For some reason, they won't take pictures of the device because I think it was in the demo room where they brought bloggers and reporters back in. I think it was one of those E3 setups where it's a console, a camera, and then also a PC sitting there.
Yeah.
You know? We saw that a bunch, which scares me because we saw that with the Phantom. When we actually played the Phantom at E3 3 years ago, it looked like the Phantom, everything looked great until you noticed that all the cords were running down into some kind of box underneath the cabinet. That wasn't this pretty console.
And the box said Dell.
That's pretty much SOP for all E3s, though.
Yeah, I mean, when we first saw the Xbox 360, it was like that because I think that's how their XDKs were at the time. I think they were Power Macs, if I remember right.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally understandable, but you can also understand why they wouldn't want people taking pictures of that because it looks
if they started selling consoles that were the size of towers, but it had huge performance, would that bother anyone? Wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, they make those though. They're called PCs. I mean,
except for you have to constantly upgrade them every game.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's why those components are so big. Is because they're just they're the newest components on the market, and they haven't gone through the refinement. You know what I mean? So I'm totally out of that market now. I don't spend any time on upgrading my PC or anything like that. I don't even worry about it.
I don't even have a PC.
I don't either. Yeah.
But I will have to buy a PC soon for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Is it only going to be on a PC?
I'm not sure. Normally, those games do not have Mac releases. Blizzard's really the only big, developer who supports simultaneous PC and Mac launches.
EA does too. The Sims 3 just came out, and that's right out on Mac as well.
The way EA normally does Mac support is through emulation software.
Uh-huh.
And normally that wrapper adds overhead. It kind of slows it down. So I don't know how that would affect MMO performance.
That might be the way they used to do it, but like Aspire made SimCity, whatever it was, 4.
No. This emulation wrapper is the new way they do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like their new thing.
Yeah, but a game like Old Republic, come on.
So if anyone
come out of the Mac, or
if anyone who's involved with the development's listening, please make a Mac client.
You could ask Paul.
or put it on a 360. That would be cool too.
You know, speaking of people who are developing it, it kind of makes me mad that this game's being made in Austin and I can't play it.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Really?
Like,
are you at that point in your life where you think you should be able to play it just because you live near it?
It's because I'm down in World of Warcraft right now.
Yeah.
So
it's always made me mad that Sandra Bullock lives here, and yet
you don't get to play her.
I don't get to bang the hell out of Sandra Bullock.
I can totally relate to that.
Yeah,
I totally understand.
I feel the same way about Lance Armstrong.
You motherfucker, Jeff. You said the exact same thing I just said
Oh.
like 2 days ago, and now when Burnie says something to the contrary, you back him up.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
it. We have cuts.
We're
on the
man.
outs.
I don't remember. I wasn't aware. Mm-hmm. I learned something interesting about Lance Armstrong.
What'd you learn?
Well, you know how he's only got one testicle? I learned this from you.
He does have one, right? Like they
Yeah.
never specified. He does have one.
Yeah, he has one test. He has one.
I know he lost one for
nut.
sure, but make sure he has the other ones.
Yeah, he does. And he has a bicycle shop and coffee shop right down the road from our office, and Gus and I go there every once in a while to get coffee. And it's called Juan Pelota. And I never understood what the fuck, like, who this Juan Pelota guy is that Lance Armstrong likes so much that he named a coffee shop after him. But I guess it's a play on one nut, because Pelota is ball in
Nice.
Spanish.
And Juan sounds like one.
Exactly what I want to think about when
It's
I'm
pretty
going
clever.
to buy
of,
coffee.
Lance Armstrong.
You know what I hate about Lance Armstrong? I hate that I live kind of out away from Austin a little bit, and I love Lance Armstrong. I love that he lives here. I hate the impact that he has on everyone turning into a fucking Tour de France cyclist in Austin. I was behind it looked like a tournament. It was like a group of like 80 dudes all in biker shorts just taking up the entire right lane of the highway, just going down during rush hour, you know? I mean, how did they get home in time to even get their stuff on and get on their bikes? And I just got to follow this.
I don't know what it is about.
Did you pull in behind them and enjoy the view on your drive home?
Yeah, it was nice. Bunch of middle-aged dudes.
At
in
least they
biker
were
shorts.
trying to go fast, because I always run into the group of bicycle, those guys that aren't even going fast, the non-cyclist dudes, those hordes of bicycle people.
Yeah, because you live out on 360 on the scenic tour. Yeah, I live on the pro circuit.
I think we got off on a bit of a tangent there. We were talking about
Yeah.
E3.
I keep trying to pull it back in.
Yeah. So, I think it's pretty obvious, but what was everyone's favorite trailer from E3, or favorite E3 moment?
Well, there was a Lance Armstrong game. My favorite one was the Old Republic one, followed very, very, very closely by the rock band Beatles opening cinematic,
That's
which
pretty cool.
is
Yeah, it was
awesome.
good.
It's pretty cool.
Really awesome.
I think, for me, definitely there was the Old Republic trailer, like head and shoulders above everything else. I'm a little ashamed to say it, but I also liked the Uncharted 2 trailer.
It was great. It was really good.
And it's I don't know, it's not that the gameplay was that enthralling. It just seems like it was cut just like a movie trailer, and that's what I really liked about it.
No, they did a fantastic job with it.
It wasn't like a traditional video game trailer.
It's the first time I've contemplated buying a PS3 just for that trailer.
Yeah,
It
I have a
looked
PS3.
like so much fun.
I have a PS3. That trailer is making me thinking about going and buying Uncharted 1 and playing that.
Man, you have to get like a PC and you're gonna have to buy a lot of hardware now.
Well, I've already got the PS3. I was suckered into that early on.
I see. Okay.
Oh, also, Alan Wake. We were all very impressed with Alan Wake.
That does nothing for me.
Really?
He looks like a school teacher, that's wandering around in the dark. That's all I
Yeah,
see
but
from
like
that
a
game.
sexy school teacher.
But what is the story with it? I mean, it's like there's a lot of slow
It's like
motion
he's
stuff.
like, I think he's looking for a contact lens.
He's supposed to be a writer who's suffering from writer's block, so he and his wife take a trip up to the Northwest,
Uh-huh.
and his
Shoot
wife
monsters.
disappears, and
Yeah.
he's looking for his wife.
What's all the magical, sparkly stuff that takes place?
Well, it's like he's like a mystery horror writer, and then like things from his as I understand it, things that he writes about are coming to life, like real life horror stuff is
All right.
happening. Kind of like that John Carpenter movie.
kind of like
And you have
an essay that the dude in 8th grade that sat
Yeah.
next to me wrote. Now
What was
in a
it?
video game form.
In the Mouth of Madness, is that the one?
I don't know. I'm not a book
that's
reader.
Sam Neill.
Sam Neill, yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy has a flashlight.
Yes.
And a flare. So what was your favorite trailer?
Come on, it was obviously Old Republic.
You gotta name something else. We can't all just say Old Republic. Name something else as well.
I guess it would be the same for as yours.
Uncharted 2?
Old Republic, Uncharted 2, followed by probably Alan Wake.
Alan Wake was good.
Oh man, I don't like Splinter Cell, but that Splinter Cell trailer was pretty fucking awesome too.
Yeah, I was not necessarily excited about that game until I saw that demo and that walkthrough.
Yeah, that was
That game
fantastic.
looked really fun.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a trailer, but the ODST gameplay demo that they did was
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Because it reminded me a lot of when they first started showing snippets of Halo 2, and they had all that city stuff when they had the one-shot battle rifle. And this looks like right out of that, but better.
It's interesting that they brought back the old Halo 1 style pistol.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That was in that walkthrough. I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Maybe it's a timeline thing.
Overpowered pistol. That's an interesting idea. Yeah, maybe it's a timeline thing.
Well, they have
this is supposed to take place
weeks before Halo 3.
Right.
Yeah, it's after Halo 2, which is when the pistol changed. So
yeah.
But I didn't see any footage from it, but I read some write-ups on the firefight mode?
Yeah.
It sounded really cool. It's kind of like, I guess, for lack of a better thing to compare to Horde mode in Gears of War 2.
Or survival. It's like this new swarm gameplay that people
like. It's like the new standard, but apparently it's really, really cool, and everybody that played it had a blast.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally play that game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm also excited to, when I buy it, to get the beta code for Halo Reach.
Hell yeah.
Since they didn't show anything about that, so I'm curious to...
Well, they don't have... I mean, they just, it's a teaser. It's not a trailer or anything like that.
Yeah, but it seems weird that they didn't show anything, and there's going to be a beta for it that you can get into.
Okay, now that's the thing, right? Are you sure that the beta... Everyone seems to assume that the beta is the day that ODS
I doubt that.
launches. It's not going to be. I think the beta is going to be well into 2010.
Good point.
Like in the spring or something like that.
Excellent point.
I'd imagine Reach is a Christmas game. I mean, for fall 2010, and so they'll probably have something in the summer or late spring for the beta. I think. I mean, who knows? But everyone is definitely assuming that at the moment they set foot in their house with ODST, they're going to get to play Reach, and I don't think that's the case.
What about you, Joel? What was your favorite thing from E3?
I thought, Left 4 Dead, just the stuff I've already played, I want to play again.
Oh, Left 4 Dead.
And then even the Call of Duty, I would like to play that some more.
Valve's, way they update games has come back to haunt them a little bit because people are criticizing Left 4 Dead 2 coming out 1 year after Left 4 Dead and essentially just being additional content, like new weapons and new maps and things like that.
I would have said, the way I would have phrased that sentence is stupid people are criticizing.
Yeah,
well, they did have, I think, a legitimate criticism in that there's this, at least conception, that Left 4 Dead didn't have a lot of content when it came out. That it was a great game, but it only had, 4 maps?
Yeah,
which was 5 maps within the 4 maps, right? Which no one seemed to be able to grasp.
In the end, it's like, did you have fun playing it?
Or
right? Did you or did you not?
Did you get your $60 worth out of that game?
Well, that's the question.
Most people would say yes. Would you get another $60 worth of fun out of a sequel? Yes.
And sometimes, if you start changing things and tinkering with things, maybe it's not going to be as good, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like the mentality of gamers that you have to reinvent the wheel for every new sequel of a game. If it was great when it came out and it looks good enough, then just give me more of the same, right? It's like Dead Rising 2. We all wanted a Dead Rising 2 that was just in same world, same graphics, same everything. Just let me go outside the mall, or go to a different mall.
Yeah.
Go to the mall on the poor side of town. I don't care.
Go to the mall after hours. Go out to lunch. You just described basically though that's the Nintendo philosophy, right? And that was their entire presentation at E3, which was basically it's not broken, we're not going to fix it.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like their philosophy at E3 was that, and then to introduce a super weird peripheral that no one really understands as well.
The vitality thing? What is that? Is it like a pulse meter?
Kinda, I guess. They didn't really show any practical application of it, but it seems like it just reads your pulse.
You know who latched onto that was Kat, our friend who's a former frag doll. She was asking about some kind of game that used to use the fingerprint sensors on laptops. That you'd play the game with, using that. It was some kind of biorhythm game. And she was on the hunt trying to figure that out. Joel's leaving us. He got called away by the principal.
Uh-oh. Detention.
So,
Joel.
Next time we'll be talking about Joel. Just last week, though, we were talking about how trailers, they don't seem to matter at all. At least they didn't matter to me. And then I spent the entire damn week watching trailers for video games.
Yeah.
And loving them. Especially that Old Republic one, man. I mean, that was just nuts. And it slid completely under the radar the first day when it came out because of the E3 stuff. Or the Microsoft stuff.
Yeah, all that Natal stuff.
Well, there was so much stuff out there. It's so easy to get overlooked. Like Joel was saying, the Call of Duty trailer was really tremendous, but it came out 4 or 5 days before E3, so
that was
not
intentional,
even on my
I'm
radar.
sure.
Yeah.
Mega 64 did an awesome video about presentations at E3.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And their Call of Duty thing with Rocco doing the Call of Duty one, it's great. So go to mega64.com to see that because it was hilarious. Especially if you watch the keynote. If you didn't watch the keynote, you probably wouldn't get too much of it.
Probably wouldn't care.
Who do you think won E3, Gus?
I think, looking at the big three, I think Microsoft was definitely hands down head and shoulders above.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, but we haven't talked about Sony yet. Sony did Uncharted.
Uncharted 2, God of War 3.
Yeah, God of War 3 looked good, but I never played any of those. So it's
I've never played a God of War game, but it did look good.
It looks like an awesome franchise. It really does. And then they had that controller, which doesn't bug me too much. I'm a controller kind of a guy. I don't the Wii thing doesn't excite me. Natal looks cool, but I like it more for the interface stuff of like using your hand to flip between blades and
that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
then being able to like voice activated stuff within the dashboard looked really cool.
I mean, because in my house, sometimes when I'm going to use the entertainment functions of the Xbox, I end up hunting up a controller, or I have one of those Logitech remotes, and I have to hunt that thing up and turn it on and power it up and let it sync and all that. It'd be cool if I just had another option of just like, well, I don't have my controllers anywhere around. Let me just start flipping around using the onboard Natal.
Yeah, we all, with the exception of Gus, have kids too, and it's like I don't know about you, but like when it's time to find an Xbox controller, it could be in the fridge, it could be under a bed.
The thing is, like you said, you all have kids too, so have fun once you're trying to use the hand motion and your kid's like trying to copy you or get into the action. You're fighting with your kid to flip through movies.
My kid's 3 feet tall. I'll just put the TV up higher.
But here's the deal with Microsoft and the things they put out, which I think are all awesome. They clearly destroyed at E3, but I can't help but think that everything we saw, all their major announcements in their keynote, seem to be better versions of things they've already attempted on the 360 that didn't work out so well. Like the big one is Natal, right? Like that's all anyone could talk about. When the Xbox Live Vision camera came out, they already kind of had a rudimentary version of this. Remember, they had games you could supposedly play without a controller, and there was one called Totem Ball. It was an arcade download. Did you ever play Totem Ball?
I never played it, but I know what you're talking about.
They are now committed to, like, they have to deliver on this because they've shown these demos, right? And so now the obligation is totally on them because I played Totem Ball and it's impossible to control. And having played Totem Ball, I'm not that excited about Natal. I'm really not. I hope it'll be good, but it's just like I've already seen this version of it. And like when they put out their Twitter updates and their Facebook updates, don't forget that when the chat pad launched, it also launched with a connection to MSN Messenger. Nobody used that. That's probably the most irrelevant development on the Xbox 360.
Well, the problem, and I'm gonna refute here. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. First of all, with saying that they already have the Vision camera, I think the Natal technology is a little different. I mean, it's like Sony also already has the iToy camera, and they're have their new motion recognition thing as well. It seems like an evolution, I guess. It seems like it's going to be better, and it's going to be able to do the things it's supposed to do. As far as the MSN and Twitter, Facebook issue, I agree with you in that. The difference is that MSN is a two-way communication. No one wanted to use it because they didn't want to get bothered while playing games. With Twitter and Facebook, you can make updates that are one-way. You update out without being interrupted coming back into your game. So I think people will use that functionality where they didn't use the MSN Messenger functionality.
Oh, snap.
It'll also be very cool. And by the way, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I mean, obviously we all think they destroyed there, but I'm just trying to say, like, to temper this with a little bit of realism here. I mean, you can have these things, but if people don't use them, Netflix is clearly something that people used. I mean, that was a good addition, But even that over time, I think we've all seen the kind of drain of quality titles coming out of Netflix.
I don't know. I just watched Wall-E last night.
On there?
Yeah.
You know what it is? There's one saving grace to that streaming service from Netflix, and it's Stars Play. And I'd like for somebody to see like what the contract is that Stars Play has, because the things that come in and out of that service that are the high quality titles, I would bet that Wall-E's probably one of those is a Stars Play title.
It's God, I can't remember.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
it seems like almost everything is though. At least that I watch now.
But mostly because you only watch good titles. You don't watch the garbage like 1940s horror movie, or whatever that's available.
Yeah. But I am glad to see that they are updating that service as well, though. Like I think from the day it launched, we all had the same wish list, and I'm glad to see they're finally doing that, where you can browse through your titles on your Xbox and add stuff to your queue through the Xbox without having to go to your computer.
I don't know how accurate this is, but when that Netflix service launched on the Xbox, and it actually launched earlier on Roku players, but it had 10,000 movies, and I read somewhere earlier this week on another website that it has 50,000 now. And I don't know if that's accurate, but
I believe it.
I believe the titles are there. I just don't believe always in the quality of the titles that end up in there.
I don't know. I don't have a problem. Like, it's my television now, my Netflix streaming, and I watch South Park every night, or Dexter, or Weeds.
There's a lot of weird... there's a lot of weird issues with that. Like, for example, I realized the other day that Quantum Leap was streamable. So I was like, great, I want to watch the first season of Quantum Leap.
Right.
So I added the first season of Quantum Leap to my queue, went to watch it. The first 3 episodes of season 1 are not available for streaming. You can only get them on the disc.
That's weird.
What the fuck? So I had to start on episode 4. Yeah, and I was totally lost.
That is strange.
Because that is a very complicated story.
We should
you can't
talk
just
offline.
jump in
catch
episode
up.
4, I mean, it's... really
there
complicated.
was a smoke monster.
A lot of TV series are like that on there, where they have some of the episodes are disabled and can only be available on disc, which is
So
what's
bizarre.
what's worse than that is I was 8 episodes into the first season of Dexter and it disappeared from my queue and I wasn't able to add it again.
right because they leave the title.
Yeah.
They leave the service.
But then last week Dexter showed up again.
Yeah.
Just out of the blue. It's just back in my queue.
30 Rock, I think, did that when the service
Possible.
first started. It was like on and off for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember I was complaining early on that I couldn't find season 2 of 30 Rock. Then you all told me I was an idiot and it was there. And I swore the first time I looked it wasn't there, and then it was there after you said it. And
Well, there's this other weird thing, too, in that you can add things to Netflix that you can stream and watch on your PC that don't show up on Roku and on the 360. Like, there's another level of
Is that true?
complexity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, you can add things to your instant play queue online, and then they don't show up on your 360.
yes, it's very confusing.
I've never seen that. What can you give an example?
No, you'd have to
Wally?
see you'd have to see the interface. It's just like a different tab, and
Oh,
a different
okay.
queue you
I
can
see what
put
you're
things
saying.
into.
Yeah. So, the Xbox Live Party thing is on there, too, where you can watch movies with your buddies.
Yes.
Sure.
Which, I'll be curious to see how much people use that.
I hope they do it this time. They announced that last E3.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But now they
it got
showed
pushed.
screens of it and all that.
Yeah.
And it's weird, though, because they reduced, like, they put the avatars
You
down
know,
below.
people aren't going to do that.
You know, we do something similar on the website with Rooster Teeth Live. People use it.
Yeah, constantly.
I think that's different though because we have just a community that's already so close and connected. This, that, and the other
People
thing.
have a community of friends that they're close to and connected with.
That's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
All I know is I have a hard enough time like trying to get a game of Halo together with people I know or whatever. I mean, you know,
Really? The way it usually works when I play games is somebody just starts a party, and whether you guys are playing the same game or not, you're all just in the party talking while you all play your different games, and you're always just kind of like there's always like 7 or 8 dudes or ladies hanging out.
Yeah, the other thing too is like I keep wanting Xbox to like kind of refine some of the stuff that everyone's clearly using that could use some improvement. You know, Netflix having now instant stream is awesome. Like I hate every time I fast forward 6 frames and it's got a rebuffer. You know, when I'm at home right now, and now this instant play thing just seems incredible. I don't know how they're going to do
I
it.
think the instant play is for the marketplace.
Yeah,
video
I don't
on
think
demand.
that's-
Then I'll buy stuff on Marketplace. I will do because I'm sick of that buffering stuff.
That buffering thing on Marketplace sucks because you got to get through like 25% of an HD movie before it starts.
Yeah.
which is a long time. It's like 45 minutes.
that happened when we were watching Primer.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, oh, is this a scene? Oh, wait, it stopped. What
No,
happened?
that sucks. And once you get to that point, it's like you can't recover.
Oh, you
yeah.
can get Primer streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
yeah. It's on Netflix too, streaming.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
What the hell?
Great movie. You should definitely get it.
At it right now.
But like the first thing they got to fix, they have to fix on Xbox Live is they got to fix the voice messaging system, which everyone uses, but now everyone is kind of abandoned in favor of texting just
Yeah.
because it's so friggin' lousy.
Yeah, I wish there was, like you say, I wish there was one button you could hit as soon as you see the alert to start playing it and listen to it right then. Because it seems like it's very cumbersome right now. You have to hit the jewel, go down, play voice, listen to it, and back out.
Yeah.
Assuming you have a headset on.
Right.
Because I wish there was a setting saying, I do not receive voice messages. Like, even Major Nelson and Trixie say, don't send us voice messages. And those are the people who basically run Xbox
Yeah.
Live, you know? Because if you don't have a headset in, every message sounds the same. My messages all sound the same. It's like, you hit play and it goes, hey, Bernie. I'm like, what the fuck did that...
Sorry about that. I was eating something at the time.
You can turn it up. You can turn your volume up full way, and it's just something about playing it over speakers. You just can't hear it.
Do you like when you sit down to play an Xbox game, like you're going to play Fallout 3, do you immediately put your headset on?
No.
I put mine under my sofa so it's out of sight, out of mind. It annoys the shit out of me.
Like-
I get pissed off if I have to put it on.
I keep mine.
Really?
I keep,
yeah, I don't like to play video games with a headset on. you know?
I feel very self-conscious about wearing the headset. I really do.
Yeah, no, you look like an idiot, right? My wife has all these friends coming over from
Yeah,
theater,
yeah.
all these hot chicks, and they're like, "Hey, Jeff, how's it going?" And I got a like goofy 10-year-old's headset on that's green and says Halo on it, and I feel like a fucking retard.
It's like the difference between watching Star Trek and watching Star Trek while wearing an Enterprise.
yeah,
costume.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a totally different level.
It's like if your remote control is a tricorder.
you have an iPhone, right? You could probably just use the headphones that came with it for that. Isn't that like the
Yeah,
the
you
little-
can use
the
cell
little-
phone headsets
That's
for it.
exactly what they should do. They should make the next headset.
I guess.
just looks like-
That way, it just looks like you got like a headphone on.
And that's why when people send me voice messages, I don't respond. It's like, sorry guys, I'm just not going to dig that stupid thing out.
But you won't. But you're saying you won't play them over your speakers either.
no, I won't.
Oh,
'cause
you know,
can't
you
hear
know
over your
the sound
speakers.
quality gets
Yeah, no, you can't.
worse.
What's the
when you
point?
play
That's what I'm
with
saying.
the
That's what
speakers.
over the speakers. It's like. I just don't understand how you just like. How
It
about we
turned
say-
into Charlie Brown's adult characters.
I got a voice message from Charlie Brown's teacher.
She's still alive. It's crazy.
I'm playing Peggle, and she wants me to play Gears of War 2. Another cool thing that they announced, which is something I think is long overdue and should have launched with the avatars, is unlockable avatar-style achievements.
Yes.
Where, there was that ODST costume, so clearly if you hit some kind of milestone in ODST, you will be able to dress your avatar like a drop shot.
Yeah, it's
trooper.
called awardables, I think.
Awardables. That's something that we would make up. Yeah. Awardables. They're called configuratables.
You eat them.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, well, that's important. I think that's an extension of the achievement system where it's like a trophy that you show to everybody.
See, that's, we had this discussion not in a podcast the other day, but that's something that would make me care about achievements, because that's something that it doesn't directly affect gameplay, but it's something you receive for getting the achievement. And that's always my thing, is I don't care about getting achievements because it doesn't affect gameplay, and I don't get anything for it.
Well, that's not necessarily true now, too, because, look at 1943 when it comes out.
That's not an achievement.
Well, I guess. Is it
What are you
not?
talking about?
I don't know that it's not.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about in the announcement that in Battlefield 1943 when it comes out that you can unlock the new maps when the global community hits 43 million kills.
It's awesome.
That's very awesome.
Yeah.
Very extremely innovative, but I don't know that it's not tied to an achievement. Maybe it is.
Well, it's not something that Gus would do individually either. Gus would just sit around waiting for everyone else
That's
to do
true.
it while he plays WoW.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Gus's philosophy
I know.
would be like,
I've fallen off the wagon.
Well, you know
The
why?
wagon.
Did you hear what happened to him?
yeah.
He logged in and his guild disbanded one day.
I logged in and I got the message, "You are not in a guild." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I looked, and my guild was just gone.
What happened? Was it drama?
The officers have been complaining of poor attendance recently,
Oh yeah.
and I guess it's it was run by these two brothers up in Seattle or something, and I guess they just got sick of it and they quit WoW.
Wow.
And they disbanded the guild.
And they have that much control as that two dudes can basically ruin the experience for everybody.
Yep. So I saw a few of the people I used to play with online, and I whispered to them, I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" They're like, "I don't know."
Wow, it's WoW drama.
Killing a pig.
So I log in now, and I'll kind of mope around and dal around for 2 or 3 minutes.
It's depressed.
I'm like, oh,
so sad.
wish I could run Ulduar. Oh, wish I could run Naxxramas.
Let me ask you a question. If Old Republic is half as good as the trailer, will you ever play WoW again?
I wish Old Republic was coming out this week.
Well, that's the thing.
This would be cold turkey. I'd be
everyone-
off WoW.
Everyone agrees the trailer was amazing. We all love the trailer. My just one concern about the trailer is that it was a cutscene and there's no.
Well, who cares?
No gameplay.
The thing is,
What
though,
if
it seems
like
WoW
it's
looks
just
WoW looks like shit.
What if you get on Old Republic and it's just like square pixels?
Well, it doesn't-
Exactly right. It's like saying, I hope the MMO is good because Empire Strikes Back was great.
But
it's like
the
the
thing
same
is,
correlation.
it seems they got the storytelling right and the action and things like that. It seems like they understand what they're doing, unlike Galaxies, which I played for way too long.
I played Galaxies. A little.
And the exciting thing, too, is that it's going to have the morality system that Knights of the Old Republic had, where when you go through a mission, you can do it as an evil person or as a good person. And you don't know the consequences until afterward. Like the example that the kid on Joystick gave was that they went through as a Sith, and they had to remove this captain from command because they were unhappy with his performance, and you could kill him or let him live. And they don't know it at the time. But
if you're a Sith, you never want other Sith unhappy with you.
Well, if you kill him, then it makes the other Sith happy, and you get bonus points. But it makes the battle you have to do afterward almost impossible because he was the military expert and he had all the expertise on how to beat the enemies. If you let him live, then you can get through the battle with no problems. But all the other Sith won't want to sit next to you at lunch, I guess.
Well, if you're playing as a Sith, you'll never let the guy live. Is that the rule?
Yeah,
Right?
pretty much.
Yeah, and also you pointed out, and I think it was in that same article, that classes don't share the same quests
At all, ever.
throughout the entire game.
Classes, I don't know what that means.
So, for example, in WoW Talk, if you're a rogue and you know a warrior, you all will have never had the same quests at all.
Oh, I see. So are there classes in the Star Wars thing?
They've announced Bounty Hunter, Smuggler, Sith, Jedi,
And Trooper, I
and
think.
Trooper.
How do you keep people
something
from just playing Jedi? Or Sith?
They haven't announced. I'm sure the other classes will have cool, abilities as well. I don't want to play a Jedi. I don't want to play Sith.
It's like if you
I want to
have
play Smuggler. That sounded awesome.
You were a smuggler in Galaxies.
Yeah,
weren't you?
I just want to make campfires like I did. That's all I want to
cook
do.
fish. It's like if you've got a superhero game. It's like you just have one big Superman button. everybody press it. Superman. I'll be Superman.
The awesome button.
Yeah, I asked you before. It's like, why would everyone not want to be?
Yeah,
Are there going to be any smugglers?
I wouldn't want to be a Jedi either.
I wouldn't want to be a Jedi. Like in Galaxies, I was a bounty hunter, and that's what I want to be again.
That's just because you guys are trying to zag.
See, you take it too seriously. You to MMOs, you are the guy who would play it in full costume, and you'd be like, your wife's friends would walk in, you go, "Fuck you, bring it."
Would play it?
Do you have,
Shit.
do you have shoulder pieces?
I
Anywhere?
got my robes and my gems at home.
Oh man. Oh man.
No, my wife always laughs at me. There's one fight in Naxxramas where I play a Shadow Priest, and I have
Now we're laughing.
I have to mind control these characters, and another
course,
Shadow Priest
of
has to
course
come
you
and
do.
mind control characters to tank like this one boss, and like you have this ability called Bone Shield. So like anytime,
You know, I
like,
thought mind control
I'm-
and Shadow Priest was funny.
I'm on
but-
voice chat, and anytime my Bone Shield goes down, I have to say in voice chat, my Bone Shield is down, so that the other Shadow Priest picks up the boss. And every time I say that, my wife cracks up, and I think she's gonna fall off the couch.
I like that your wife laughs at your bone
And
shield.
then she always repeats, Bone Shield.
Man.
Wow.
Oh, those days are gone.
You know, it's the thing too is like you're at the level of WoW too, where you can make references that most people won't understand because they're not at that level.
Oh, most people should know that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got nothing.
Well,
Well,
God,
anyway,
if they don't
anyway,
get the
wrap
Bone
up.
Shield reference, there's a lot bigger problems.
Bone shield is universal. It crosses
Everybody
all-
understands the Bone Shield.
Oh man. So yeah, I might play Old Republic as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I never played Galaxies.
Galaxies are horrible.
Now that you're done playing WoW, does that mean we're going to have to change the theme song?
We had to change the theme song anyway.
He's not done playing WoW.
I'm sure I'll play again eventually.
He's just taking a little break.
Make sure you include those lyrics.
Just like Bernie quits video games forever about once a quarter.
Man, no, what I do is I go on benders where I'll play a video game nonstop. And Fallout 3 did that to me. I got to the
Yeah.
point where it's like I had to like put Fallout 3 in a drawer, you know, and get rid of it. But you're 10,000 gamer score ahead of me.
Dude, yeah, I hit a milestone this week. Yesterday morning at about 9 a.m., I hit 60,000 gamer score.
9 a.m. GMT -6, right?
Right. Sorry, 9 a.m. GMT.
Ask people to translate. David Carradine's dead.
Yeah, that's sad.
He died. He was found in a hotel in Thailand, in Bangkok.
That's a funny name.
And you guys are idiots. He died in a hotel in Bangkok, and he was found. At first, the report was he was found with a rope around his neck and his genitals. Now it's a rope around his neck and his body. But it's pretty much assumed, as people reported still, that.
Genitals are part of the body. Last time I
Part
checked
of
my
the body.
anatomy book.
So it sounds like a Michael Hutchins kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Which we
it
don't know
does.
the facts, but you know, it sounds like a Michael Hutchins.
I don't want to know. You know, who's the dude who goes in the room like, hey, that guy's dead. Hey, it's David Carradine. Hey, it's genitals. I'm going to tell everyone about the genitals.
It was a maid, actually.
People found it from her Twitter post. She posted it to her Facebook from her Xbox.
I would want to know, and if that ever happened to me, I would want people to know that had happened to me.
Hell yeah.
Like, I mean, is it more acceptable that he killed himself? You know, as opposed to he was doing something crazy and he accidentally died.
Yeah.
I don't know. He just undermined, I don't know.
I've never done that.
I'd want to leave a legacy of, being into freaky shit.
Well, I mean,
People are going to remember that.
it's a totally different thing. I mean, it's like if you're suicide, you
But
think
it's-
my life is bad and I'm having problems.
But I mean, that's already been done before, though, right? At least when you want to do it in a creative, like the NXS guy, right?
What?
what are you
the
saying?
fuck are you
Didn't the
talking about?
NXS guy die?
Yeah,
on the
Michael
same-
Hutchins,
Michael
yeah.
Hutchins. That's already been done. You want
Yeah.
to do something creative, something
Well,
new. You got to raise the
everything's already
level.
been done.
Well, he's in Thailand. He's doing like going on tour with it.
I don't. Did Michael Hudgens have a cord wrapped around his nuts too?
No,
There you go. That's his.
He took it
well,
up
he
a
did his
notch.
own take.
He does now.
The guy was 72.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't try that when I was a teenager, you know? This guy's doing it at 72. I think there's kind of a...
You didn't have the internet when you were a teenager. I mean, now it's like, ooh.
I mean,
What does that say about that? Like, what was that guy's life like to get to the point where he could only get off by wrapping
Well, you don't know
like an
that.
extension cord around
you're
his dick?
assuming. Let's assuming he's just
I'm
giving it a
maybe-
shot
sure.
the first time
Oh,
and
that's
he fucked
possible
it up.
too.
You know?
I always.
Dude, I hope when I'm 72, it's possible I might die.
Well, here's the thing: if you're going to murder somebody, now you know exactly how to frame them because as soon as you do that, now it's suicide.
I want to
No,
know who takes the time to jerk off when you're in Bangkok, Thailand. I
Yeah.
mean, isn't it easier to get a whore than it is to actually just
to reach your hand down to your genital takes longer.
Is there like a button on the phone?
It's not on the. It's everywhere. It's probably on the walls, on the desk.
But I mean, it's a serious thing. The guy died. I feel
very
horrible
sad.
about it. But I think it's horrible. I don't think it's very cool to try to paint it as suicide when it's just a crazy life thing that the guy accidentally died. You know, like if
Yeah.
one of the Jackass guys died doing a crazy ass stunt.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, you'd be like, somebody would tell you, you'd be like, oh, one of the Jackass guys died. You're like, oh, well, who? You wouldn't even bother to ask which one. You'd
was,
be like, of course they died. One of them died. I'm amazed that one of them hasn't died already. Wait, has any of them died?
No, nobody's died yet, but Johnny Knoxville broke his...
Johnny Knoxville's dick died.
Yeah, his dick died permanently.
Yeah,
which
what
is
happened there?
the grossest, saddest thing ever.
You wrap a rope around it?
He tried to... This is like 2 years ago. He tried to do a backflip on a motorcycle, and the motorcycle fell, and the handlebar went into his dick, and it caused...
Yeah, what do you say into his dick? What do you mean?
I don't know, but like it caused such damage that when he stood up, he tells it, he thought he pissed his pants, and he looked down, and there was blood everywhere. And every time his heart beat, it would shoot blood out of his dick.
Oh my god! That would make my heart stop beating.
Yeah, I know, it's right. And he supposedly like it's caused so much scarring on the inside of his
brain.
I don't know the medical term. On the inside of his in the inside of his dick hole, the urethra or whatever. That he had to.
No, I think dick hole is the common medical term.
He has and has had to for the last 2 years self-catheter twice a day so that he can pee.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he has to stick a catheter in twice a day to go to the bathroom because it has to stretch out the thing. Yeah, I just heard him on Stern talking about it.
How old is he?
He said otherwise
he's like 35.
The scar
36.
tissue would block his urethra if he didn't self-catheter.
And so he does that to avoid surgery, and hopefully, I think he's got like another year of it, and then they'll reevaluate and see if he can stop self-cathetering.
Really?
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever had a catheter. Any of you ever had a catheter?
Nope.
No.
I have. It is not fun.
But I do have a trip to Thailand next year, so I give it a shot.
It might be the most uncomfortable thing I've ever experienced.
So
Catheter, not Thailand. Thailand's fine.
Rest in peace, David Carradine. Awesome actor. Awesome in Kill Bill.
Yeah, he was the best part of Kill Bill.
I didn't watch any of his earlier kung fu stuff, but you know it's kind of legendary, right?
Yeah, my mom was into that show. Like I watched it as a kid. I might have been just too young for it.
Yeah, I watched Transformers.
Yeah.
I remember being like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or whatever, and there's a show, and it's called Kung Fu, and so you think you're going to see some Kung Fu, and the show was nothing about a guy walking around for an hour.
It was like Kung Fu philosophy.
There was no Kung Fu.
Yeah.
It was like the Incredible Hulk if he never turned into the Incredible Hulk.
Exactly. That's exactly perfect.
The incredibly angry person.
It was just an hour of Bill Bixby hitchhiking.
Controlling his emotions.
All right, so is there anything else anyone wants to talk about?
Oh, hell yeah. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. You saw Up, right?
Oh, shit. Yeah, I did see Up.
Do you back up that the short before Up is the best short from Pixar?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that the short before Up is the best short that they've produced. And Up is right there with WALL-E for my favorite Pixar movie. I'm not sure which one.
WALL-E's your favorite, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's interesting because it's a very simple story, I think. But there's stuff at the end that's very poignant. That's it's just the whole story.
Are you talking about
how they set it up?
Up right now or WALL-E?
We're talking about Up.
Okay.
The thing with Up,
WALL-E, no.
It's like I wouldn't expect anything else, right?
No.
The thing with
good.
Up is it gets like they have a sad moment like 15 minutes into the movie, and then after that, every 15 minutes they remind you about that.
Yep.
It's like
not,
they don't let you get over it. They just like keep poking you about it. It's like, Jesus Christ, just leave me alone. At least WALL-E was sad once at the end of the movie, and that was it. But I highly recommend it. And that being said, I think everyone should go see that movie.
I'll probably see it tomorrow or maybe tonight.
You know, I saw
it in 3D. It's the first movie I've seen in 3D.
Oh yeah,
did it work well?
No.
What?
I don't want to wear glasses over my glasses.
Oh yeah,
It's terrible.
I didn't think about
what
that.
the fuck? If anyone's listening who makes these things, just make clip-ons. Give people the option. If I could just have something to clip onto my glasses, I would have been much happier. I just sit there with my hands holding glasses over my glasses.
You realize a year from now we're going to be having a podcast talking about how uncool we look with the 3D glasses connected to the microphone along with the helmet with the siren on top while we're trying to play.
Why don't you just get LASIK? Take responsibility.
No, I don't want to do that.
No?
Get implants.
There you go.
Full on. Every movie's going 3D anyway. They should make contacts. You can put them in the lobby.
You could have like the transition lenses where when you go into a movie theater,
yeah.
they automatically go into 3D mode.
Hey, well, I was on vacation. Anybody see Terminator?
No, I've almost seen it a bunch of different times, but just haven't gone to see it.
Really?
Did you see it?
I want to.
No, I haven't seen it.
So I would like to see it.
I just saw a lot of very tan people in bikinis.
Yeah, how'd you like Miami?
It was good. I liked it. It's expensive. Everybody's a dickhead there, but
you mean the service people are?
Service people are all assholes. Yeah, but it was gorgeous, really pretty.
Did you run into anyone famous while you were there?
No, but I saw a ton of like Maybachs and Lamborghinis and Bentleys and a lot of very rich-looking people. They might have been famous, and I just am not in the know.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, you say Maybach? I thought it was Maybach.
I think it's Maybach.
I think it's Maybach. Also.
Maybach?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a car that costs. It's like a Rolls, basically.
Yeah.
It costs like $250,000, but only people who really kind of have them know what they are. I mean,
Yeah,
I never heard.
I
Maybach
know about
before.
it because of you.
They're just like a Mercedes-Benz limousine.
Why would you have? I don't have one.
Well, because you were looking at them one time.
Yeah, we saw them in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was a Maybach.
And the
I hadn't
whole
heard of it.
point of that car is the back seat. You know, it's like
Yeah,
Why?
like 2 years ago, I was in Baltimore
driven?
and I saw one. It's the only time I've ever seen one. It was outside our hotel. We were at a convention out there, and I walked out the hotel. I was like, "Holy shit! There's a Maybach right there!" And I walked over to take a look at it, and as I was walking by, that thing stank like pot. I don't know. I think someone was inside the back seat, which Joel was talking about. But
no,
yeah.
it's a limo. It's all
Yeah.
about the back seat. You know, they got like the massage chair and all that stuff. And
Yeah, you buy that car to be driven around in it.
Right.
You don't buy that car to drive it.
Well, I
Right.
gotta say, I mean, if you get to the point where you're paying $250,000 for a car, or how much is a Maybach? Joel, you're a car guy.
I think it's in that neighborhood.
I think it's like 300.
Yeah. If I'm paying that amount, I would want people to know. I mean, that if you're at that level buying that car, don't you want people to know that you're driving a $300,000 car?
That's why you're buying it, right?
Isn't that? I mean, you could buy a car at like the $80,000
Well, I think
level
that-
and get 90% of the car. You're clearly buying it for some kind of status symbol.
Have you driven a car that's $300,000?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Well, maybe after you do it,
I-
you
you know,
might change your opinion.
It's funny you say that. I read.
How? I mean,
You just-
I can't imagine how.
I read an article on CNN once where they interviewed a guy who ran one of those dealerships out in Beverly Hills. He sold like Maybachs and Rolls Royces and cars like that. And the reporter asked him, like, how do you sell someone a $300,000 car? And the guy who runs the dealership says, the way we sell most of our cars is we sell them as gifts. The
Wow.
people who buy these cars buy them to give them to someone else.
Jesus.
Wow.
So it's not that you're buying a $300,000
So,
car. It's
you
that
know.
someone gives you a $300,000 car.
Hint, hint, hint.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we got to meet that guy.
I mentioned like the back of the dealership, and they have a room with those huge bows that they put on top of the cars.
and like at the time, the economy was kind of going bad, and the reporter asked them, like, has the economy really affected your auto sales here at this high-end luxury car dealership? And he said, no, all that happens when the economy goes bad is the names on the mailboxes change.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said, doesn't really affect. He said, people who can afford our cars, this doesn't affect them at all.
Yeah. I would imagine that's probably true.
Yeah.
It's like, they talk about the real estate in California dropping. It's like there's always people making money in the movie industry. You know what I mean? Like always people who are they just rotate. The people's names change and they just buy each other's houses from each other.
Speaking of real estate in California, I looked at some condos in Miami while I was there just for the hell of it.
Yep.
I saw a $20 million condo that had
What?
3 bathrooms.
Those are always in the those
$20
are,
million?
How big were the bathrooms?
I don't know. Not big enough to
Did it
justify
have,
$20 million.
did it have any bedrooms?
I didn't see a condo for sale on the wall for under $2 million.
wow.
It was crazy.
So which one did you buy?
Well, it's all beachfront property.
Yeah, it is.
You were actually Miami Beach is different than Miami. You
Yes,
know that,
for
right?
sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Miami Beach is a different city.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I always wanted to go.
Pristine, like gorgeous beaches, that are beautiful and
What is-
nothing like the Gulf Coast.
What is the nicest car you've ever driven or driven in?
I don't know. I guess AMG 500 SL.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good-
And would you say that was how much does that car cost? I don't know anything about cars.
Oh, that one. I don't know. Probably 130 or something in that neighborhood.
And you drove that car?
Yeah.
And was it worth it? Like it?
Yes.
That's like a house. I consider that to be the cost of a house. Once you get up in that
Maybe it
territory.
wasn't worth it. I don't know. All I know is I enjoyed it.
I once went to the Audi dealership, and I don't know how I did it. I must have been. I don't know how I did it. I convinced them to let me test drive an A8L, which is like their big, long luxury car.
Yeah.
And that's like $120,000.
How was it?
It's nice. It had
Really?
like when you drove out into the sun, it had like sunshades that automatically came up over the back windows to keep the sun from coming in and getting glare in your eyes.
Wow. I drove
And it had a refrigerator in the center console. So
What?
You keep drinks
Come
in there.
on.
Yeah.
I drove a 1992 Ford Taurus once. Which actually a reference to that Conan you and I watched the
Oh
other
yeah.
day.
I'm glad you guys can make references to each other. Did you like that joke?
Gus got it.
I rode in a Rolls Royce Phantom once in L.A.
Oh, yeah.
and it just, it was nice. It was really nice, but that's a $350,000 car.
Man,
I didn't drive it. I just rode in it.
You
And
totally beat us then.
It had like TVs in the back, but I'm just saying it was like it's not worth $350,000. You know what I mean? It's like you can buy 3 of the cars that Joel drove in.
The question is, if you have $40 billion, then
Right.
it's probably worth it.
Sure, right? If you got to spend money on something, and you got $40 million or whatever. But at the same sense, it's like that's the point at which if you buy a Rolls, you're buying a Rolls because you're a dude like Donald Trump and you want to like ride up in a Rolls.
Yeah.
You can really have the same experience or 99% of the same experience in another car, but you do it because it's a Rolls and you show up. That's my point about the Maybach. Is like you roll up in that car and people don't know what it is. You know what I mean? It's just
only the people who can afford it know what it is, and those are the people you're trying to impress.
I guess that's true.
I guess so.
Why would you want to impress some schlub who doesn't know what a Maybach is?
It's like a big $300,000 rolling handshake.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the mentality anyway, but maybe that's why I don't understand the lure of a Maybach. But a lot of rappers drive them.
Yeah, they do. There were a lot of rappers.
Driven in them.
I was in Miami during the Miami Hip Hop Festival, which is the largest hip hop festival in the country, I guess. There were 350,000 people there for that.
Yeah,
so.
you said
cool.
that drew more tourism to Miami than the Super Bowl did, right?
That's what I read in the paper while I was there. Yeah,
that sounds awesome. Yeah, dude, people love music.
People flip out for it. Hey, Gus, did you watch the Tonight Show last night?
Yes, I did.
Who were the guests?
It was people I can't remember.
Oh, so that's not a good sign.
No. It was. I was very underwhelmed by the lineup.
Gus and I have been very excited about the Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien because we watched the first 2 nights. He did a really good job.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah,
and it went downhill from there.
What was the last Gwyneth Paltrow movie? Oh, just Iron Man.
Iron
Man. I read some hubbub about where they're already fighting over guests between Leno and Conan.
Yeah, I read that also.
And the network is siding with Conan, saying Jay Leno cannot cherry pick the best guests to take.
Absolutely. Oh, man. Shit, I just lost it. I was going to say something.
I got to say, in this whole thing, while you're thinking about that, I don't care. I want Letterman to be Conan. And I guess that's not the popular opinion these days.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I mean, why is no one considering, Letterman is now hopefully going to be number one over Conan? I love Letterman.
I like them both.
I love Letterman the last time I saw him 8 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I don't watch that stuff anymore either. Who can take it?
It seems like, but yeah, every now and then it seems like you see clips from the David Letterman website on the internet, that he posts of interviews and stuff. And it all seems like it's he's still doing really good.
I don't. What was the interview with the Congress with the guy from Chicago?
Oh, Blagojevich?
Yeah, that was the greatest interview ever, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I guess
his interview with Paris Hilton was pretty fucking funny.
I haven't seen
that. He had
Joaquin Phoenix was great too.
Yeah, it was.
He had an interview with Spencer Pratt, who's on one of those shows on MTV I've never seen in my life.
The Hills.
And that was the best because Spencer Pratt came out. David Letterman looks at him and goes, "Who are you? Why are you on my show?"
Yeah, Letterman doesn't fuck around.
And everything he was saying, Letterman was just laughing at. Was like, "Are you serious? You're not serious. Who are you again?"
Oh, I remember my point. I read this morning. This goes back to Iron Man. That Marvel's goal is to release 4 superhero movies a year.
Wow.
4 a year, starting in 2010.
That's not a goal.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, why say that? Why set that goal for yourself?
Is it to
why set that goal? We're going to release.
They're talking about the article was all about how they were going to start releasing 4 superhero movies a year, and they weren't going to how they were going to do it without being affected by superhero fatigue.
I'll tell you how they're going to do that. They're not.
Yeah, it's not possible.
What are they going to do? Put out Dazzler?
I don't know. I didn't know the whole thing.
Rom the Space Knight.
We'd all rather have one good quality movie over 4 crappy ones.
Let's not talk shit about Rom the Space Knight.
Do you know what the name of the villain in Rom the Space Knight is? Do you remember? You're such a big fan.
God, is it Bone Shield?
It's Nimrod.
Nimrod, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Rom versus Nimrod.
Man, I've never heard of any of this stuff.
Y'all
are officially bigger nerds than me now.
No, Rom the Space Knight.
I read a lot of comics as a kid.
Rom the Space Knight started as a toy, and then they made a comic book out of it. I think. Yeah.
They're doing that with something else with a video game. Oh, that's Prototype.
Oh, really?
Prototype's a game, and it's going to become a comic book.
I thought Prototype was already a comic.
Is that the way it worked?
I don't know.
When we first saw this, when you were working on that commercial, that's what we all were asking. We all were wondering. It seemed like it was very comic booky.
There was DC logos in the game.
Yeah, that's right.
In the city.
Ads. Yeah, DC ads on buildings and stuff.
Which, by the way, Prototype comes out June 9th. Awesome game.
Absolutely.
I'd never heard of it before it showed up in this office, and we started working on it for that commercial. And it was
be a lot of Achievement Hunter stuff coming out of that game.
Mm-hmm. So. In fact, I got to say this, is that they showed a Crackdown 2 sneak at E3, and I was way less excited about Crackdown 2 after having seen Prototype.
I don't know.
I love Crackdown. I'll play it, but I was like, Prototype definitely is curing that Jones that I've got for the Crackdown style of game.
Yeah.
And we had some great sort of enemies in Prototype to fight as well as you go along.
Yeah, I've only played it very little for that commercial work we did. I haven't actually played too much of the story. I'm excited to really play through it once it comes out.
Yeah, I tried my best to stay away from it completely when you guys were doing the commercial because I wanted to just sit down with it fresh.
Yeah,
and be excited about it.
All right, so we should probably start wrapping up because I have to edit this and get this out today. So, anything else anyone wants to talk about before we?
Where do you?
We should talk about what you're going to cut from this.
Where do you guys want to go to lunch today, Gus? Oh, you want to go to Whole Foods?
I want to go to. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
If anyone hears this before I post it, we'll be eating lunch at Whole Foods at 6th and Lamar.
I'll be
kids, no matter how cool it seems, don't wrap a rope around your neck and genitals. Don't do it. You will kill yourself by accident.
Pick one or the other. Don't double dip.
Yeah. And someone will have to make the call to your parents and tell them that. Just like somebody had to make a call to David Carradine's wife. Oh, man. I have 2 pieces of bad news.
Also, if the makers of Maybach listen to this episode, we would like a test vehicle.
We're big fans of the Maybach.
I've never heard of you.
If you'd like a Machinima series,
I defended the Maybach.
I'm gonna go the asshole route and try to attract the pretty girl. I've never heard of you. I don't even know who you are. I wouldn't recognize you on the street. Sorry, asshole.
You look like any other car to me.
Yeah, I've seen better.
You're nothing special. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and go to hell.
What?
Is there a theme song going out?
Podcast.
Theme song again?
Theme song? Sing a theme song, Joel.
No, it's
Joel's turn. You brought it up. You got to fucking do it.
Theme song. I like theme song.
Wow, it's terrible.